have. That's good.
We almost said something.
You guys should have. That's awesome.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
you, yeah.
Yeah, were you there? That's awesome. I'll tell her that. She'll get a kick out of that. What's going on?
How's DK's development coming along?
It's doing well. Obviously it's a long process. I mean, he's had highs and low lows, and he's working his butt off. But the confidence and the trust with Russ is really important. Had a nice game last week. The one that he missed, he caught it, and then when he hit the ground on the sluggo, the route was unbelievable route. He ran on the sluggo and beat the corner. He made the catch. He had his feet down, and then just when he hit the ground, all the force kind of knocked it out. But we're able to move him around, which is good. So I think he's doing well.
What are his lows?
No, he just had low lows. He's had a couple different things. Mental mistakes. He's really hard on himself mentally. I screwed that up. Maybe it's a split. Maybe it's a route conversion. Things like that. But again, he works through it. He's a worker. He's always into it. He's always wanting extra work. He's always asking questions, and he's a competitor.
Take pride in his. Sorry.
What part of his game have you seen the most growth in from when he showed up in April to now?
Probably the routes that he can run. When we first got him, again, you come out of the offense at Ole Miss, and you're wondering what exactly he can run, what he can do. But, again, the sluggo was a good example of it, the little stick route that he caught when we went fast in the end zone. Again, he just found the void. That's just him playing football. So probably that would be the biggest thing. There's not a route that we're really not comfortable with him running, so that allows us to move him around and put him in different spots.
Was that the route for him there, or was it just I'm open, I need to turn?
Yeah, there's a progression there. He just felt the void. Both guys ran with Tyler. Both guys, Tyler caught their attention, and so he was open. He just stayed there, and Russ found him.
You take pride in those touchdowns. It feels like that was kind of perfect execution. Defense went with them, and they were easy pitches and catches.
I don't know if you take pride in them. I think you just anytime you get in the end zone, it's a good feeling. I thought we started really well last week, and the execution was really pretty strong early on.
Those two completions to Tyler over the shoulders on the same drive. Not really open on either play. I guess the second one he kind of had a step, but has he kind of gotten to the point where even when he's not open, he's always kind of open, and you can give him a chance, and he'll usually make the play?
Yeah, he's always been that way. I remember the catch. It's one of the pictures up here in the hallway against the Chiefs last year. There was a go ball deep down their sidelines, and a guy was all over him, and it was the same type of thing. He for a smaller guy, shorter guy, he's able to use his body to hold people off and made an unbelievable catch. But those were two amazing catches. So what he's proving is he can catch it, like he did against the Ravens, right? When the ball was, short and low and he had to come back for it. He can catch it with people around him. Again, he's just playing at an extremely high level. So.
Was that a touchdown? Sorry,
which one?
The one against the Chiefs last year?
No, it was a big play, 4-minute drive, down the right side. Yeah, it's a great catch. Same thing, bigger corner. It was a bigger corner. I don't remember who exactly it was. It was a bigger corner. And, Russ threw it with a ton of air, and Tyler was just able to kind of hold the guy off. But, so he never ceases to amaze.
When you talk about moving DK around, are you talking about positions, X versus Z, or right side of the field? Because it seems like he's playing more on the right side.
No, yeah, we move him around. We put him in different spots. Our kind of our X, our Z, our F, the different people we move around, Ys and stuff. He can play all those spots. So, again, we don't always use those in every game. But he's comfortable in all those spots and all those different personnel groupings, which, again, for a young player that comes out of a system where really for most of his career he was on one side is pretty cool to see.
Tampa's run numbers are really good. Big yards per carry per game. What are they doing well?
Well, obviously, again, it's a heavy box. They got a bunch of guys up in the front. They're extremely big and powerful up in the front. Again, if there's a bigger tandem than Vea and Sue and those guys, you don't find it very often. So the scheme is built to try to make you one-handed to stop the run. That's the way Todd kind of creates things. But they just play really well. The two linebackers are really good at filling gaps, White and David. The two edge players, JPP coming back certainly helps them last week, but Nassib and Barrett on the other side, they're not just pass rushers. They're good run defenders. So I think some of it's scheme and then some of it's personnel. They're big and strong, and they're hard to move in there.
I think Chris has second most carries in the NFL here at the point in the season. How close are you guys monitoring that? Is that a concern at all?
Yeah, we're always aware of it. Again, early in games, we try to, feel it out. Like you saw Rashad pretty early in the game last week. Chris was doing well, but we wanted to get Rashad going a little bit. And then as the game kind of goes, he kind of communicates to us how he's feeling. But just the way he runs is it's amazing. He never slows down. I mean, just some of the and Rashad too. They both ran really physical last game. And one of the things that we challenged them on the week before was kind of our second and 2 or less or third and 2 or less runs, those decisive runs of not trying to bounce things outside and go for the big run. Hey, go get the extra 2 yards that we need for the first down. Allow us to move the sticks so we get another set of downs. And they both did a great job that last game.
Do you feel like Rashad's finally back now? Like the hamstring seemed to have been a thing for a while. Like he only got the two snaps the game before. That's beyond you now, and he's back for you.
Yeah, last week's practice was the best he's had. He's following that up this week with another great week of practice. That's the big thing that we challenge him about, and I think a lot of that probably is he's feeling better. But how fast he ran, got around the corner on one. We ran a little toss sweep to the left down kind of by their end zone, and you just see the speed. I mean, the speed. And but again, it goes back to his ability to practice and feel good, and he did a nice job last week, and again, he's following up with it this week.
Whether it's this week or a week or two down the road, we'll let Dixon bring when we can get him back in there.
Again, that veteran leadership is really important. He's been exposed to a lot. Russ trusts him. He's a big target. There were some plays last year where, we found him in different spots, but down the middle of the field, he's very accessible. He's just a complete player for us. He's really strong and powerful both in the run game and some of the pass protection stuff. So whenever he's back, he's having a good week of practice this week, so we'll see. But, he'll add that veteran leadership. He'll add just another piece for Russ that he's very comfortable and confident with.
What do you learn in the second half of a game like that? What do you take away from?
Talking about the last game? Obviously, we didn't relax. I didn't think that. I think that, we didn't execute as well. The penalties kind of bit us in the ass a little bit in the second half. We were able to overcome them in the first half. So I didn't like that. We got the penalty coming out of the half. I mean, that starts with me. That shouldn't happen. But again, I thought the thing I loved was, they never panicked. And I've used that with you guys a lot. They don't panic. And, so didn't do well the first 2 drives. And the next drive, the defense gets a great takeaway down on the 4 or 5 yard line. And we move it right down the field. Russ hits a couple nice passes. We get going. We get big points in that situation to put us up whatever we were. So, again, it just came down to execution. And where we need to be better is not shooting ourselves in the foot. I think we had 7 offensive called penalties last week. That's too many. And some of it was just us being cleaner with our hands and not grabbing guys, or if you get overextended, letting the guy go.
Did George come in and do the eligible thing?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and then we were trying to make a late adjustment, and we never got set. So we were kind of against the play clock, and so Russ was trying to make an adjustment. And then, again, I got to give him more time getting out of the huddle. So I'll take that one.
He was they announced a legal formation, but he was.
What they said, they called it a legal formation. When you look at, then they didn't say a number. I didn't hear a number. And then when you look at the stat sheet, it didn't have a number on there. Jacob Hollister, when Russ was making the change, Jacob was trying to move out. So I don't know whether they just weren't sure who it was on, but they called it a legal formation. There was nothing illegal about it other than the fact that it should have been a legal motion with Jake moving is really what it should have been. But they called it a legal formation in the play-by-play.
And announced it.
Is that what he said? Same thing? Yeah.
With DK's route, there's a lot of conversation about that before the draft. In retrospect, do you think that was overstated, or what did you make of that at the time versus now?
Yeah, I think, everybody has their opinions on different people, but, we were never concerned. Again, everybody's going to run routes different in some regards. They'll be better at other routes. But, again, like the sluggo, I go back to that. I mean, some of the things that he did initially stemmed the guy for leverage. I mean, that's an intricate thing that usually young players don't do. Like, you challenge these guys to not, we stand up there and we present these pictures to these kids, and they see it, and a lot of them want to go out and kind of do it exactly how the picture is drawn. And we tell them, it's still humans moving and changing. And so that's where I think he's grown. We never really bought into that there was things that he couldn't do. You look at a big physical athlete like that can run the way he can. We were never concerned about that. And having him here, we still feel very strongly about that.
The logo that you keep mentioning, was that in Atlanta?
It was in Atlanta. Okay. Yeah, it was the one down. Again, he didn't finish it. It would have been a 3 for him. He got it later in the drive. But, yeah, it was down our boundary. He beat the guy clean. Russ had to move, and so he really couldn't drive the ball. So the ball kind of hung on him. And so DK was tracking it. Actually did a great job trying to, keep his feet quiet and keep him in. But when he hit the ground, that 235 pounds or whatever it is kind of forced the ball out.
I've got to ask you about the mouthpiece. What do you think of the pacifier mouthpiece?
If I'm being honest, I didn't even know he had a pacifier mouthpiece. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Really? Yeah. Okay. Very cool. I'll have to ask him about that before I comment on it.
John,
Anything else?
John Ursua and Gary Jennings haven't had a chance in games yet. What have you seen from them behind the scenes, throughout their rookie season?
Good question. They're both getting a lot better. I think they're both very talented. I'll talk about Gary first. The speed, the explosive power that he has, the ability to track the football is really, really impressive. He's much more comfortable now. He's more of an outside guy. He's playing more outside for us because we're trying to mix these guys around. So John's playing inside, Gary's playing outside, but he gives our guys on defense fits because he's so big and powerful. Talking about Gary. And then John just is really a very talented slot receiver. Quick, understands angles and understands what the quarterback's looking for. So again, I was actually telling a couple of guys today, just watching them on scout team, that they're very, very talented young men. So exciting for us. And then it's just a deep position for us with a lot of talent.
What's the biggest kind of jump that Gary's made? He was so limited in the off season for you. It didn't get many opportunities in the preseason just because of that circumstance. But where has he jumped and where has he stood out the most for you since then?
Again, I think you see him playing faster, knowing the system. Knowing the system. Again, it takes these guys some time. They come from certain systems, and it just takes them a little bit longer. So it did. It took Gary a little bit longer to figure it out. But again, when we do one-on-ones, you guys don't get a chance to see it very often. When we do one-on-ones, he's an extremely difficult one-on-one cover because he's got excellent ball skills. He's big and powerful, and he's got a knack for kind of controlling his body and using his size to help him finish plays. So, but I would say the confidence in his understanding of what we're doing allows him to go and do that.
You have to be mindful with Joey Hunt not giving him too much calling on.
No, I don't worry about Joey at all. Joey's so he's so smart, so quick. He's got great leverage. I don't worry about Joey at all. He's a guy that he's going to battle, and he's going to get us declared right and going to the right people. He's a really good football player.
Does his size make you think about inside runs differently?
No, because again, he has the quickness to be able to get on people. Again, their size element. He reminds me a little bit of Scott Wells. Had Scott in St. Louis. The wrestler background, low and can get a target. And sometimes when you get on those bigger guys, you're able to control the block because you beat them to the punch, if you will. So I don't worry about him in that regard. There's really nothing that we can't do with Joey, or that we don't feel confident that we will execute well with him.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.